Yo, this is going to be a quick guide on uh, random seed internal for versions 1.12.0 and any subversion of 1.8. Um, Random seed internal is a sort of subcategory on any percent and refers to how you play a random seed. There's external and now internal. Internal has been brewing for a while, but it's picked up popularity in the past year. External refers to leaving the world either by relogging for some pre-19 dupes or invincibility, or crashing the game for saver version and later version duping. Internal refers to not leaving the world at all, and there are a few internal glitches. There's a lot of them in pre-19, but there's a really fast and specific one in 1.12.0 that makes internal a pretty fast category. So to quickly go over setting up the instance, there's this website that's kind of a continuation from Redlime's previous ownership of it, I guess, which is now kind of taken leadership by Tilde Justin, and it's a very up to date website with all the mods. There's a version for 1.12.0, even though the category hasn't officially been made yet. Um, so these are all the mods for it. CoStar fixes something in the pie chart. You should pretty much always have it, and then the instance is here, 112. And if you want to run multi-instance for it, which I recommend, um, the 112 is a pretty stable version. It's not really that like performance heavy. Use Easy Multi by Duncan. I'm gonna put the links to both of these websites in the description. But you just boot up all your instances, click setup instances, and then go borderless. Borderless if you play borderless. Um, and I don't know. The entire program is just super simple. But out of the way, I mean, playing internal, you are resetting for blacksmiths, and you are resetting for the ability to enter the nether in those blacksmiths. So starting out here, if we open up our pie chart and we disable subtitles, there are 4 directories, and that means they have a blacksmith. If you don't have a blacksmith, you have 3. Um, and if you're in a snowy biome, 4 could either mean an igloo or actually could really only mean an igloo, I think. Um, so pie chart. Once you load in, um, you want to first figure out where it is. If you're not in like a plains, and if you're like a forest or taiga, then you would pyrite. And how to pyrite is there is no 4 chunk buffer like there are like in newer versions. But I think 120, 121, and 120 maybe has changed that. Those versions, but in 116 there's a 4 chunk buffer. It doesn't exist here. So the instant that the block stuff disappears from your pie chart is when you should stop and you should start checking chunks. So let's go in this one and there's nothing. I raise RD and go to this one, and you can see the reason why I was going so deep into these chunks was because it doesn't load instantly. Sometimes it does, but in cases like this, you have to walk up to like halfway through the chunk for it to load up on the pie chart. So as you're going, be on the lookout for sand or gravel. If you spawn next to a river with both of them, it's a pretty safe way to get both of those because you can go on the way and these little water pools can have both of those. Um, so, and once you get to the village, I would recommend picking up these crops really as much as you want, um, because for the dupe later on. But also make sure to grab 2 logs, really anyway. If it's potatoes, oh well. If you want to get carrots, you should. And as we get to this blacksmith, we enter it and we can check the chests. So we have iron and an apple. Apple is good, but this chest really isn't great. Technically, we can enter the nether from here, but um, gonna go over what you would want from a blacksmith. Um, from a blacksmith, you need iron at all times, and gold is another really nice thing to get. And as you might be able to deduce, horse armor variations work as well. You can also play out horse armors because you can smelt them into nuggets in this version. And the next thing would be obsidian or diamonds. Both of these are interchangeable. Oh, and iron armor works too. Any iron armor works, as well as horse armor. So, and apples would be useful if you get gold. It's nice for golden apples, and if you have carrots, then it would be nice for carrots as well, you know. But let's play this out. So let's craft only one of these into a table, and let's offhand our potatoes. Let's highlight or go to really anything that we want to do. I will choose one of the ingots because we can craft them into nuggets. So for the crafting table dupe, you want to highlight. You want like any trash item um, that you can make a lot of into your offhand. And your main hand is going to be the item that you want to dupe. So I want to do this iron ingot, and I have 9 of these potatoes in my offhand. I'm not going to be using them. So in the same tick, we're going to hit our offhand key and right click. And if you do it right, uh, your main hand will become what is in your offhand. So then you want to hotkey this your main hand pretty much into the crafting grid, and you want to click on an invalid craft. And then once you do that, hit E to exit out of your inventory, and now you have 10 iron in your offhand. And from here, you would want to keep one of these, but craft all the rest of like the surplus of the ingots into nuggets. And now you can stack it, have it into 32, and this is an important note. Going over 32 on offhand will not properly dupe. It just goes back into whatever you have before. So you pretty much have to create stacks of something and have it into 32s. And it gets pretty consistent once you get it down. And a little cool thing you can do um, with this offhand dupe is you can dupe tools. And now I have 33 gold pickaxes worth into this one slot. And I could use this infinitely pretty much. And it's really useful for a buried nether or anything like that. And really just do this until you're good. And grabbing that sand, you want to be smelting it while you dupe everything. And if you have gold, the next thing you want to look for is a cleric, and you don't need a church for a cleric, but it's a nice guarantee. So we trade for an emerald, and then we overlap it leveling up with duping the emerald, and then we traded one more time for redstone, and then we get one pearl trade, and then we use these emeralds to dupe the pearls, and now we have 26 pearls in one slot. You can also create golden apples. These are really good. These are really nice to spam all over the nether, pretty much. And once you do that, we can dupe these diamonds again, and we can get on with our day. I didn't bring any sand or gravel, so I'm just gonna pretend like I have glass and gravel. But actually, I'm gonna get footstool. And I have one more thing to note. If you don't have any if you don't have any obsidian or diamonds, but you have gold and iron, you can still play out iron and gold. Um, Here, let's make a bucket. And if we grab a lava bucket and offhand it, you can see that we have 11 of these, but it doesn't act like you can place down 11 sources anywhere. You have to drag it out in your inventory to create 11 buckets. And then you can just like make out a little carving and then place down like water here. You would want to get water from like a well. So like once you do the lava buckets, just go to the well and then just like create the portal that way. But anyways, let's go over to the nether now, where we're going to repeat the same process pretty much, just high array for the fortress. And there it was halfway through, it's that way. And we just want to be just spamming pearls and food, and we want to try to be on the lookout for ghasts. And I just heard a ghast. I think it's up there. So see if this makes it. But anyway, for ghast, it's just you kind of just have to try to kill them conventionally. It's internal. You can't leave the world. There are no like mob duplication glitches or something. You just have to get the 33% chance for the ghast here to drop. And same thing for blazes. If you get strays, you kind of have to hope that they drop. This guy does drop, so that's pretty nice. But once you get a blaze rod, and ideally a ghast here, you really don't try to do traditional end fight techniques. For world record, you pretty much need dragon skip. But I mean, you can do either a consistent strafe cycle, which I have a video on. It's a little outdated though. I might try to look into updating that sometime, or you can just do shield cycle, which you are definitely just gonna have the resources for. I mean, you can just dupe a bajillion beds. I think you actually. Let me test this right now. Actually, live learning experience. And I got a ghast here there. Hey, that's pretty nice. I believe you can do this. Yeah, you can just do that. So that's pretty nice for strafe cycle or even shield cycle actually. So you could probably practice it like that. But anyways, let's go into the post blind now. There are a few important things to talk about whenever measuring eyes. So first thing, what? First thing, you just want to dupe your stuff. If you don't have sand yet, this would be the good time to look for it. Because I mean, it's just if you have a ghast here at least, you could get a ghast on the way to the stronghold, but it's I don't know. I feel like it's probably like the same probability as going to the fortress and getting a ghast, but you should always be getting glass in these runs. So then you just want to dupe your rod. Craft it like that. Ninja Brain bot, at least for 1.4.3 and all versions with 1.9 to 1.12 support, it adds 0.5 to your block coordinates, not the XYZ, the block coordinates. So for this, if you wanted to do it in a consistent way where there won't be any error, I'm in a pretty nice spot honestly. But going into a corner like this, I'd have to write negative 2485.2 because plus 0.5 equals my XYZ. So that would be like that. Also, if you don't really care, and you measure pretty precisely, you can just pretty much get anywhere within like the center of the block, and you can just measure. So about measuring, it's different in 1.9 to 1.13 because the crosshair is in a different position. Normally in 1.16 you would measure like this, but in 1.11, 1.12, 1.13 you have to measure like this. You have to go over 1 pixel over, pretty much. You have to align the left side of the crosshair with the right side of like the spot in between the middle and the left pixel. So I'm sure you get what I mean with like this demonstration. And I would just write it down. 44, 145, 109.2. And I don't have Ninja Brainbot open. Let me do that real quick. And I would get this. Is that accurate? Not really. But that's kind of how it always is in these versions, though. You would kind of want to get a pearl's distance. And just throw another eye, measure again. And then I got the measurement right. And I have my deviations set to this because I measure it pretty accurately. And if we look back, that is where it is indeed. So then from there, we would just go to the stronghold. Through the nether, just like your regular postblind, except you can spam more pearls. So let's go to the stronghold. I really may have like 2 more things to say. So first of all, preemptive does work in this version. It's pretty scuffed because it's kind of like 115, pretty much. Let me go to this hitboxes, and spike that I get is like something high 70s, and if I'm looking like directly at it, yeah, I get like around 80, and then from starter I would get around 90. Like for me, I know that like a ridiculously high spike as this is the portal room. There's nothing else that gives me the same spike. Oh, this does. But what is this? Dungeon. So yeah. I think in these versions spikes are a lot more evident, but um at the same time you kind of get like a 116 spike everywhere. Libraries have a pretty distinct spike, I think. Oh my god, where am I? Like libraries. Okay, I don't think I'm getting it, but usually they're also high spikes, but not the same spike. I like same spike as portal rooms. I think it's just because they're really close together at this point, but otherwise, I have one last thing to do, and that would be I can skip. So get in the portal room or wherever and craft it wherever. You could probably do it in the post blind whenever you're measuring eyes or something like that. Like that. I would offhand it because whenever you enter the end, you only have 1 second or 20 ticks to place down the end crystal, which if you pause abuse for it, you're still bleeding out some ticks. So I would just put it in. Oh, and if you don't even have it, like if you have it on your hotbar but not on your hand, you have to waste ticks to hotkey over to it. So just keep it in your offhand, and um, just like once you enter it, just like try to pause as soon as you can, or if you want, just like keep butterfly clicking or jitter clicking and just like look down and place it. Oh, don't even have any throwables in your hand. That was just because it prioritized Eye of Ender over it. If you had any tool in your man hand, it would have placed down. That's kind of funny, but big fail. End fights are pretty different in this version. So there's the 111, no, it's the 19 to 113 Ron and Stroud server. It's pretty much just the 19 to 113 chord. You can join that, and there's an end fight channel, and there are end fight, and there are people who just know about the end fight. So if you want to ask about it to learn it, just go there. If you want to do conventional end fights, otherwise, that's kind of it. Oh, actually, 1.8. So 1.8 has a, I think 1.7 might have it too, or once. Actually, no, I think it's just 1.8. Special dupe. I would recommend having a higher render distance, and this dupe requires TNT and any GUI. Well, from a block, so crafting table, so crafting table, furnace, or chest could even work. And basically how it works is you have, wait, let me get a way to explode it. But still, just easier. And then let me get some block. So the first we would put down the GUI item, then we would put TNT like 2 to 3 blocks away from it, just so we can still see it. And then once you ignite it, you want to place a block in front of you, open it, and put the item into any slot possible. And pretty much on the tick that the TNT explodes, you want to also hotkey the item at the same time. So, and I didn't get it there, but it's like, you just gotta try 3 times, and then once you get it, it'll make sense to you. That's just kind of how it works, really. So I'm doing it too late. Too late again. Too late again. Pardon me, I haven't done this in a while, to be honest. That is too early. There we go. And if that item doesn't fly towards you, you now have a 0 stack of the item. And so what you do with this is you go to your inventory, you click on it, and then you just right click. And now you have infinite emeralds. In this case, which is just like, you get like around like 140 or something. And that's just how you get like 12, 13, 14 eyes. Make sure to throw this item away, like with left click, like on its own somewhere else. Because once you pick up these items and you pick up this, how did it reset? There's some weirdness to it. Okay. I'm not sure what, but I just know that picking up like a lot of normal items can kind of mess it up sometimes. So just try to keep the 0 stack and the normal items separated at all times. It might be even worth to put it in the chest, to be honest. Or any other, yeah, just chest. Or furnace, I guess. But that's what we use, so in blacksmiths. And then you can do that dupe for food, for beds even, pearls. I think for blocks, actually. Oops. Hold on, I have to like try a bit harder on this. think for oh no, okay, I was wrong. Um, oh, that might be like a 1.3 thing. Um, okay, I did some pause testing, but you have to drop it once, and then you can use it infinitely. And I found out what I was talking about. Um, with picking up the items thing is if you get the zero stack, but the item comes towards you, it negates the zero stack into just becoming a regular item again. So, sorry for the scuffness on the 1.8 section. I haven't done it in a while. I haven't done both categories in a while, but that's pretty much all. Thanks for watching. Actually, one more thing. The 1.8 is pretty much just resetting for a temple and then going to a village, trading for eyes, and then going to the end, pretty much. Yeah.